Have you ever wondered what happens when humans deliberately challenge nature's life or death limits? It is a moment when your wheels are locked in a split-second battle against death. These are paths not meant for the faint of heart, places where the abyss lies in wait, ready to swallow everything whole. Yet in these locations dubbed impossible places, the line between life and death is measured in mere seconds. There is no room for error nor a second chance for the careless or the recklessly impulsive. Do you have the courage to hold your breath and join us in venturing into these deadly locations, places not for the faint of heart? Stelvio Pass Road, Italy. Have you been here before? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to Hide a Planet. It's one of those legendary mountain passes that will surely haunt you. Famous for its relentless hairpins, 48 on the east and 36 on the west, this route demands total focus to keep a steady hand. It's that heart-pounding feeling as you grip the steering wheel tightly, the road barely wide enough for two cars to pass each other. With sheer cliffs on one side and a chasm on the other, only a thin concrete fence separates you from the nothingness. Altitudes over 9,000 feet cause thin air and dizziness, while erratic weather keeps drivers on edge. Sani Pass, Lesotho. As soon as we reached the foot of the pass, the feeling of thinning air began to fill our lungs. The roads here are unpaved with no guardrails, just boulders, mud, and sheer cliffs amidst impossible places. You'll have to climb from 1544 men to Carrick-a-Rede in less than 9 km. There are sections with gradients as high as 1-3, causing even the most powerful 4x4 to roar like a wounded animal. Don't even think about showing up here in a sedan. South African officials will block you at the first checkpoint if your car isn't 4x4. Zhangjiajie Grand Canyon Glass Bridge. Upon taking your first steps onto the transparent tempered glass, the initial sensation is one of disorientation. Forget solid ground, you're standing 1,000 feet above the gaping void of the Grand Canyon. If you're wondering how high 300 meters is, imagine standing atop a 90-story tower and looking straight down through a glass window. Despite the fear, you can't take your eyes off the surrounding scenery in impossible places. Amidst the towering limestone pillars, characteristic of the Avatar land, the bridge appears like a white silk ribbon draped across the void. Would you spend the night on this glass bridge for $40,000, or are you choosing life? Drop your answer in the comments. Aiguille du Midi Bridge. Ascending 800 meters by cable car is a thrill offering stunning views of the Alps right outside your window. This bridge is no ordinary bridge. It's fragile, transparent, and perched precariously over a chasm thousands of meters high. The biting wind chills you to the bone, the thin air forces you to breathe deeply, and the view is indescribable. You'll experience the thrill of taking slow, deliberate steps, gripping the railings as you gaze out over the lush green valley below. It's not just about the beautiful scenery, but also about challenging yourself to overcome your fear of heights and enjoy absolute freedom. The Lima Highway, Russia. Connecting Magadan and Yakutsk. If you ask me what I feel right now, it's chilling. This isn't just a road, it's a 2,032-kilometer-long monument lying exposed in the harsh Russian Far East. The name Road of Bones is not a metaphor to scare tourists. Beneath the crumbling asphalt and mud lie the remains of hundreds of thousands of prisoners from the Gulag era. In the 50 DGC, cold, digging graves in permafrost was impossible, so those who fell were buried directly in the roadbed. With every meter the wheels roll, you can feel the weight of history. Carrick-a-Rede rope bridge. Approximately 20 meters long, it connects the mainland to the small island of Carrick-a-Rede, 30 meters above the Azure Sea. As you take your first steps, the bridge begins to sway with each step, and the strong winds from the Atlantic. Below you, just sparsely spaced wooden planks and a rushing, swirling current of white waves. Don't stare down for too long if you're afraid of heights. Look straight ahead at the island. Your hands are nothing but tightly braided ropes. They feel so fragile that you just want to cling to them until your fingertips turn white. There have been instances of panicked tourists getting trapped on the bridge, forcing rescue teams to evacuate them. Bayburt Dean Turkey. Upon stepping onto the D9155, the first sensation is one of overwhelming dread amidst the impossible places. There are no barriers, no dividers, just you, your car, and a chasm, hundreds of meters deep, right at the edge of your tires. With 29 hairpin bends so sharp, you have to steer to the limit to even hope to get through. Every meter of the road is a battle of wits. The most terrifying thing about the D915 isn't the steepness, but its unpredictability. Sometimes the fog gets so dense, you can't see your own hood. You just drive by, feel and pray there's no car barreling down from the other way. Royal Gorge Bridge. The first time you step onto the bridge, you'll feel like you're entering a Hollywood adventure movie. Suspended 300 meters above the Arkansas River, this 380-meter bridge sways with every step as the wind howls around you. The feeling of looking down into the deep canyon below, with its swirling river and jagged rocks, sent a surge of adrenaline. If you're afraid of heights like I am, would you dare to take another step towards this bridge? The $35 entry fee feels like a ripoff for a one-time walk, making it a total tourist trap for some. I recommend going in spring or fall to avoid crowds and harsh weather. Also, wear comfortable shoes as the path up is quite steep. Bach Bridge, Vietnam. This is a bridge that when I stand in front of it, I still have to take a deep breath to keep my knees from giving way. The first sensation upon stepping off the stone platform and onto the ultra-clear tempered glass is emptiness. Beneath your feet is not earth and rocks, but the vast, bottomless expanse of a valley more than 150 meters deep. Would you dare to walk on this 342-meter-long glass walkway, clinging to the side of a sheer limestone cliff? It's not for the faint of heart, but it's paradise for those who want to push their limits. Trift Suspension Bridge, Switzerland. Don't let its slender appearance fool you. This is one of the highest and longest pedestrian suspension bridges in the Alps. With a length of 170 meters and a height of 100 meters above Trift Lake in the middle of impossible places. As you step onto the bridge, the swaying comes not only from the wind blowing through the ravine, but also from your own footsteps. A feeling of weightlessness that is both exhilarating and threatening. For those with a fear of heights, looking through the metal mesh below down at the deep blue lake is an extreme psychological challenge. Million Dollar Highway, USA. Dubbed the Million Dollar Road, this name doesn't just refer to the enormous construction costs in the 1880s. It also implies that you would never dare drive across it a second time, even if you were offered $1 million. The first feeling upon rolling from Silverton toward Aiguille was one of awe mixed with fear. You are at an altitude of over 3,000 meters. On one side is a sheer cliff, on the other, a deep abyss. Scariest thing, no guardrails at all. Winter snow gets too thick. If there were any snow plows, couldn't push it off the cliff. Sani to Bridge, Norway. As you approach from the land, Sani doesn't look like an ordinary bridge. From a certain angle, it looks like a fractured, suspended ramp hanging in mid-air. You get the feeling that if you keep pressing the accelerator, the car will fly straight down into the icy Atlantic Ocean. Its absurdly undulating curves make it impossible for your brain to pinpoint the next section of the road. It's a perfect blend of engineering and the artistry of nature. Sometimes when you reach the highest point of the bridge, there's a moment when your car seems to pause before descending the slope. Sidhu River Bridge, China. With a height of approximately 496 meters above the gorge. It was once the highest bridge in the world. Along with the rugged terrain connecting two steep mountains. Construction was so difficult that engineers had to use rockets to launch the first pilot cables across the chasm. Despite its intimidating appearance, the Sidhu River Bridge is a testament to cutting-edge engineering. It is the perfect combination of primal fear and the pride of human intellect. Vine bridges of Aiguille Valley, Japan. There's no concrete, no exposed steel. Beneath your feet are small wooden planks woven together with vines. With each step, the wood creaks against each other, reminding you of the 14-meter height directly below. The floorboards are incredibly spaced apart, so wide that an adult's foot could easily fit underneath. When you bend down to see where to place your foot, you'll see the Aiguille River flowing white right beneath your feet. The feeling your heart skips a beat. Valley wind shakes the bridge. You're now playing a life or death obstacle game in breathtaking scenery. Chesapeake Bay Bridge, USA. With its fragile design, the bridge's railings are quite low compared to the eye level of high-clearance vehicles. When you look to the side, you don't see concrete. You only see the abyss and the murmuring waves right beneath your feet. The Chesapeake Bay area is known for its sudden gusts of wind. While driving, You can clearly feel your sedan swaying slightly. On foggy days, visibility is reduced to just a few meters, making you feel like you're driving into a void. The bridge lacks emergency lanes in many sections. If something happens, you're literally stuck between the traffic and the sea. Hussaini Hanging Bridge. What you see before you isn't the majestic Karakoram Range, but the sound of wind whistling through rusty cables. This isn't a bridge for a leisurely stroll. It's an extreme psychological test. Yet in these locations dubbed impossible places, the line between life and death is measured in mere seconds. Just imagine what would happen if you were careless for even a minute. The further you go from the bridge, the stronger the shaking becomes. You have to cling tightly to the cold steel cable, feeling the sheer fragility of humanity in the face of nature. Route 500 Canada. Over the thousands of kilometers of road crossing Labrador, there are stretches where you'll drive for 4 to 5 hours without seeing a soul, a gas station, or even a phone signal. Rearview mirrors will only show dust or white snow. What if your car breaks down? You can only rely on your own preparation. Don't let the stillness fool you. Moose weighing tons can suddenly appear in the darkness or fog. Collision with them at high speed is like crashing into a brick wall. In winter, Route 500 turns into a stark white ribbon of ice where the line between the road and a sheer drop is separated only by one wrong turn of the wheel. Deception Pass Bridge, USA. It connects Whidbey Island and Fidalgo Island. But don't let the majestic beauty of the Pacific Ocean fool you. When you actually walk on the narrow pavement right on the edge of the cliff, it's a completely different story. The first terrifying aspect is the sheer height. You're standing at the equivalent of an 18-story building. Looking down, the giant sailboats below look like children's toys bobbing on the waves. The name Deception is not accidental. Right beneath the bridge lies a narrow strait where the ebb and flow of the tides create extremely strong currents. Langkawi Skybridge, Malaysia. If you think bridges have to have multiple supporting pillars rising from the ground, then the Langkawi Skybridge will leave you speechless. The entire 125-meter-long bridge is suspended from a single 82-meter-high steel pillar. It's like a giant seesaw perched 660 meters above sea level. The bridge isn't perfectly straight. It curves gently between the peaks of Mashinchang Mountain. This design allows you to enjoy the panoramic view, but it also creates a sense of disorientation when you look down into the abyss. Capilano Suspension Bridge, Canada. You are looking at a delicate 157-meter-long ribbon of silk draped across a deep, bottomless canyon. As soon as you set foot on it, the bridge begins to shake, not gently, but in a rhythmic resonance from dozens of people walking together. Once you've reached the middle of the bridge, pause for a moment. If your hands aren't gripping the cable so tightly that they're turning purple. It's not just an engineering feat from 1889, it's a psychological test. Right now, if you were standing at the beginning of the bridge with your worst fear of heights waiting on the other side, so will you bravely continue walking, or will you smile and turn back towards the gift shop? Los Caracoles past Chile, Argentina. Viewed from above, this road looks like a giant spring stretched out, or as its name suggests, the spirals of a snail's shell. You're not just driving, you're climbing a mountain on all four wheels. The curves were so sharp that the long bus in front of me seemed to have to twist and turn just to get through without hitting the cliff. This is the most terrifying part. In many sections between your wheels and a chasm hundreds of meters deep, there's just air. There are no guardrails, no concrete barriers. One small mistake, and you'll become part of Andes history. Title is Cliffwalk Switzerland. What would it feel like to walk across this bridge, which is less than a meter wide? As you walk to the middle of the bridge, it begins to sway gently with each step and the breeze. It's a moment when your survival instinct screams, "Turn back," but your eyes are captivated by the majestic view of the Swiss Alps. The most striking feature is its sheer precariousness. This is the highest suspension bridge in Europe, and it's not for the faint of heart. The feeling of walking on clouds is a unique spice that no amusement park can replicate. Mighty Turn Road, China. As soon as you set foot on the first kilometer, you'll immediately feel the recklessness of the engineers. This road is about 11 km long, but takes you from an altitude of 200 meters straight up to 1,300 meters above sea level in the middle of impossible places. Every few dozen meters, you have to make a sharp turn. The hairpin bends here are not as comfortable as typical mountain passes. They're so aggressive that you feel like the back of the car is trying to overtake the front and plunge straight down into the abyss below. Karnali Highway, Nepal. Most of this road is unpaved. It's a mixture of rubble, muddy slush in the rainy season, and thick dust in the dry season. On one side is a sheer cliff, ready to collapse at any moment. On the other, a bottomless abyss leading straight down to the river. There are stretches of road barely wide enough for a single truck. What happens when two vehicles coming from opposite directions meet? It's a dance on the edge of a precipice. One driver has to back up hundreds of meters on the treacherous terrain to give way. Just a few centimeters slip, and the wheels will leave the ground. Mackinac Bridge, USA. Imagine you're behind the wheel with 8 kilometers of road suspended over the strait, connecting the two Michigan peninsulas. The wind from Lake Michigan and Lake Huron whistles through the window. This isn't just a ride, it's a test of your mental fortitude. With its dizzying height, the bridge's tower reaches 168 meters, and the road surface is approximately 61 meters above the water. As you drive past here, you can see right through the tires down to the deep water below,